Hi, welcome to Learn English and Practice with Marie. Today we're going to do Advanced Vocabulary Builder, lesson number 141. We'll go through 10 advanced words and we'll review their meanings, parts of speech, and a couple of examples for each. We'll finish with a story so you can hear the words in context, and we'll do a quick review at the end. This is a great way to expand your vocabulary, and if you like this video, subscribe for more because more videos are coming. Let's get started. First, I'll read the words. Complacent, fluctuate, abysmal, petulant, conceive, advent, stark, emphatic, unequivocal, reinforce. First, complacent. This means having or showing a lack of interest or concern as an adjective, having too high an opinion of oneself as an adjective. So someone who's complacent in their role at work, for example, might be showing that they don't care too much and that they're just coasting by, and they might not be putting in much effort or think that they need to put in too much effort. That would certainly be a situation where that employee was complacent. Examples are, despite the warning signs, he remained complacent about the looming deadline. The team grew complacent after several easy victories and underestimated their next opponent. Fluctuate. This means rise and fall irregularly in number or amount as a verb. So when something fluctuates, it'll go up and down, up and down. I know in a lot of parts of the United States, the weather and the temperature tend to fluctuate dramatically. On some days, it's in the 90s Fahrenheit. On some days, it's in the 30s or less. And that fluctuating temperature can be very disconcerting. Examples are, stock prices tend to fluctuate dramatically during periods of economic uncertainty. The temperature in the desert can fluctuate rapidly between day and night. Abysmal. This means extremely bad, appalling, as an adjective. So this word, abysmal, means very, very, very bad. It's an extreme word choice to describe something that is extremely bad or unfavorable or that you don't like. So if someone asked you how you think you did on the final exam and you say abysmal, that means you think you failed it. You think you did terribly. An easy way to remember this word is that you can see it's very similar to the word abyss. An abyss goes all the way down to a very low point. So something that's abysmal is like an abyss in that it is very low, very bad, very negative. Examples are, she was shocked at the abysmal state of the neglected library with torn books and dust everywhere. The company's customer service received abysmal reviews after failing to resolve repeated issues. Petulant. This means of a person or their manner, childishly sulky or bad-tempered as an adjective. So someone who's petulant is moody, and this word is often associated with childish behavior. So immature or childlike behavior, that is poor behavior, bad behavior. Examples are, the child's petulant outburst startled everyone in the quiet classroom. He gave a petulant shrug, clearly frustrated by the long wait. Conceive. This means become pregnant with a child as a verb. Form or devise a plan or idea in the mind as a verb. So the first meaning is pretty straightforward. Let's talk about that second meaning, which is to come up with something, to think of something and to plan it out enough in order to have a firm idea. So if something very unexpected happens, you could say, I can hardly conceive how that could have possibly happened, if the mere idea of it happening doesn't even make sense to you. Examples are, they could hardly conceive how rapidly the technology would advance. Artists conceive masterpieces in the quiet spaces of imagination. Advent. This means the arrival of a notable person, thing, or event as a noun. and there are additional meanings related to Christian theology. So the advent of something is the start of it or the arrival of it. So authors could dramatically state, since the advent of time, this, and this have been the case. And there, the word advent is referring to the start. Examples are, the advent of the internet revolutionized how people communicate. The advent of digital music led to the decline of physical albums. Stark. This means severe or bare in appearance or outline, as an adjective. Unpleasantly or sharply clear. Impossible to avoid, as an adjective. Complete, sheer, as an adjective. So something that's stark is simple, bleak, uncomplicated. A desert landscape, for example, tends to be stark. All you see is sand. At most, you might see a cactus or a little plant, but typically there's nothing. It's bare. Often the apartments of students who graduate from college and move out on their own tend to be fairly stark. They don't have much furniture, there's not much decoration, and it's kind of a trope. It's kind of a stereotype for young men in particular to have very stark apartments as they're moving out on their own for the first time. Examples are, the stark contrast between the two paintings was immediately apparent. The report presented the stark reality of the environmental crisis. Emphatic. This means showing or giving emphasis, expressing something forcibly and clearly as an adjective. And there's an additional linguistics-related meaning. So to be emphatic is to be passionate, to be very forceful and strong in what you're saying or doing, in your choices, or whatever it is that you're participating in. So you expect politicians to give emphatic speeches where they stick to their beliefs very strongly and they are very passionate about those beliefs. Examples are, the teacher was emphatic about the deadline for the final paper. With emphatic clarity, they explained their position to the board. Unequivocal. This means leaving no doubt, unambiguous, as an adjective. So something that's unequivocal is very clearly true. There's no equivocating on something that's unequivocal, obviously. So a parent's love for their child should be unequivocal in that it is strong, constant, and unwavering. Examples are, he made an unequivocal promise to improve working conditions. Her support for the proposal was unequivocal and unwavering. Reinforce. This means strengthen or support an object or substance, especially with additional material, as a verb. Strengthen an existing feeling, idea, or habit, as a verb. Strengthen a military force with additional personnel or equipment, as a verb. So this word reinforce can be used to talk about making something stronger by bolstering it. So when I'm teaching, I'll often reinforce concepts through repetition, through examples, and through additional elaboration. But literally, you can use the word reinforce to talk about adding extra support beams to the foundation of a home. That would be reinforcing the structure. Examples are, the manager introduced new measures to reinforce the company's safety protocols. The architect used steel beams to reinforce the structure against earthquakes. So let's read through a story so we can hear these words in context. At Bright Spark Advertising, the team had grown complacent. They had won several big accounts earlier in the year, so their energy began to fluctuate. Some days they worked hard, but other days they simply coasted. When the last campaign results came in, they were abysmal. Instead of solving the problem, a few members started petulant arguments over small details. Meetings became tense, and no one wanted to take responsibility. Then came the advent of a new game-changing project. The client was important and expected something bold. The creative director told them they needed to conceive a fresh idea, one that would stand out in a crowded market. The pitch had to be stark and powerful, with no confusing messages. Feedback sessions became more frequent and more emphatic. Every comment was direct, and everyone was expected to act on it. By the final week, the team had agreed on an unequivocal concept. It was clear, creative, and impossible to misunderstand. The process had been difficult, but the tough discussions began to reinforce trust. When they finally presented the pitch, the client was impressed, and the agency remembered how good it felt to work with focus and purpose. So let's review these words quickly, and I'll spell as we go. Complacent. C-O-M-P-L-A-C-E-N-T means showing a lack of interest or concern or having a high opinion of oneself. Fluctuate. F-L-U-C-T-U-A-T-E means to rise and fall irregularly. Abysmal. A-B-Y-S-M-A-L means extremely bad, appalling. Petulant. P-E-T-U-L-A-N-T means childishly sulky or bad-tempered. Conceive. C-O-N-C-E-I-V-E means to become pregnant with a child, or it can mean form or devise a plan or idea in the mind. Advent. A-D-V-E-N-T means the arrival of a notable person, thing, or event. Stark. S-T-A-R-K means severe or bare in appearance, unpleasantly or sharply clear, complete, sheer. Emphatic. E-M-P-H-A-T-I-C means showing or giving emphasis or expressing something forcefully. Unequivocal. U-N-E-Q-U-I-V-O-C-A-L means leaving no doubt, unambiguous. Reinforce. R-E-I-N-F-O-R-C-E means to strengthen or support, or to strengthen with additional personnel or equipment. Again, those words are complacent, fluctuate, abysmal, petulant, conceive, advent, stark, emphatic, unequivocal, reinforce. Great job today. There are other videos like this on this channel, and more are coming soon. I'll put playlists and videos right here, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye.